Hello, friends! Today I like to talk about the differences between a music therapist, a music performer, and a music teacher, educator. So, as a person who received training in all of those areas over the years, I actually hold the identity for all of those titles. So, my music journey started when I was a teeny tiny girl at home. My parents were musical people. We were always playing musical games, we were singing songs, listening to orchestra concerts, and our conversations were always, they always included what instruments do you hear in this piece, how many instruments, like how many voices do you hear. So when I was in early elementary school, my father started my first ear training. It wasn't official, it was still like included in games, but I learned a lot from him. I learned solfege and recorder in children's choir, and those were the best days of my life. I experienced being on the stage and fell in love with it. And I was a shy kid back then, but music immediately became a portal to express myself. So I knew back then in elementary school that I wanted to spend the rest of my life on stage. Then I started the conservatory in middle school and stayed there until I finished my bachelor's degree. And my bachelor's degree was in cello performance. I focused on strictly classical music training during this time, and then after that I wanted to experience teaching as well. I did some trainings, and my first master's degree was actually in cello performance and string pedagogy, which not only opened up many doors in terms of employment, but also opened up my mind with creativity and connection, especially to share the music with others, regardless of their age and musical level. So I played in local orchestras, in chamber music groups, solo recitals, joined concerts in various parts of the world. Then I worked as a teaching artist in various schools, El Sistema programs. I did teach with Suzuki method, Orff method, and I created my own private studio. Then I set up my own business and LLC for my teaching studio and music services for events. So I came to a place in my life that I was asking, what's next? And then all of a sudden pandemic happened. So I was finding myself having a break to think about what's next in my life, but many people around me, some of my loved ones as well, they started to experience mental breakdown during pandemic. I was already looking for more as the next step in my life, and I decided to apply for another academic program, a second master's degree, and this time it was in music therapy and counseling. And then here I am, I found myself as a therapist. Long story short, well, it wasn't that short, sorry, but I proudly hold those titles and identities. So I see this right to talk about all of these areas. So what I really want to talk about in this video is the use of music in all of these areas. So I've been talking about music therapy, and this is the main theme of these video series, but how is it different? The use of music, how is it different than the performance or education? In music performance, it is more like you polish your playing technique and skills and perform concerts for aesthetic reasons. So you try to bring out the beauty in the sound and phrasing and interpretation to contribute to a unified feeling. So you communicate with the audience through music as your statement, and you share your statement with them while they are receiving your offer. So there's an end product, and the magic happens in that moment while you are reciprocally like feeling that feel of music. It requires some technical standards and excellence to execute the musical statement for the performer. But music education, on the other hand, is primarily teaching those musical skills to others who are learning to create their own statement. It's like sharing that process of learning, giving perspective to students to find their own statement. It's not an easy journey. It requires some effort and time to learn to play an instrument in certain standards. But during this journey, though, there are some benefits that overlaps between music therapy and education. As individuals learn how to play an instrument, the skills that they work on for their instrument may help them accomplish some therapeutic goals as well. And those goals can be like self-expression, self-awareness, like tolerance and patience as a coping skills, or similar goals but still with the purpose of excellence in education, but there's still an expectation of an end product in music education. But in music therapy, like musical aesthetics is in the background. So the primary focus is to serve to therapeutic goals, serve to well-being, and to support patients and clients. So there's no need for musical skills. So even if you never touched to an instrument in your life before, you are welcome to make music in a music therapy context. The use of music can happen only using one or two elements of music. I mean, it can happen. Like, for example, if you only play steady beats on a drum, like 1, 2, 3, 4 for an entire song, that means you can still benefit from it in various ways, even if it looks like simple. Steady beats are like grounding. It helps with regulating your body and listening to like other players, synchronize with them as you play. It helps with like social skills, self-awareness as you hear yourself in the group, or like self-expression as you contribute to music making, and validation and belonging to a group because you're a part of the band. So it can help with many things. A big and important point about using these professional titles, though, is being careful with how you introduce yourself. I see many performers who uses the phrase music therapy when they go play in some venues, like assisted living homes, retirement homes, hospitals. The fact that they're performing for those populations in those settings is a wonderful thing. First of all, they should keep doing it, and they should engage with people who need interaction, social activities and stuff. But they are not doing music therapy because they don't know how to work with those populations, especially with the therapeutic goals. So music therapy should be led by trained music therapists, period. So I think it's very important to point out to place the intention with correct terminology in different settings, and those settings will set the expectations to keep everyone safe and avoid the harm. So that's all I wanted to say today. Thank you for listening. Stay healthy and sound until next time.